Hello everyone, my name is AJ, and I haven't come up with a good intro yet. In case you haven't been following my content for very long, I've been working on an animated Undertale series for a very long time. I created a pilot comic for it that I posted to Instagram on January 6th of 2023. Man, it's been a long time. I posted one page of it per day, with the last page being uploaded on March 4th of that same year. It's actually still available for your viewing pleasure if you scroll down a bit. But then Instagram had an identity crisis and then decided it wanted to be TikTok and created this aura of negativity everywhere that I wasn't vibing with. So I abandoned my platform there and started my YouTube channel. But how the heck was I supposed to show my comics to people on YouTube? I'm not exactly a dubber. Otherverse is set in a fully different multiverse than the rest of the Undertale fan multiverse as a whole. I wanted to be able to play around with the rules of the multiverse the way I wanted to, and not feel constricted by convoluted lore created by other people. In Otherverse, the multiverse was created by the Wolf, an all-powerful and mysterious being that you really don't need to know much about. They created 4 outcodes, powerful monsters that don't belong to any one universe, to keep their multiverse balanced and running smoothly. One for creation, one for destruction, one for positive emotions, and one for negative ones. Ink, Error, Dream, and Nightmare were their names. They also created Life, Death, and the original AUs that all creation outcodes could use as a base to create their own universes. Then they sat back and watched their multiverse unfold however it wanted. The original 4 outcodes had to figure out their roles mostly on their own. The Wolf didn't tell them to keep things balanced. They only told their creations their roles and left them to their own devices. It didn't take long for them to pick sides and start fighting with each other. Ink and Dream paired up to fight Nightmare and Air. After a long and grueling battle where for a while it seemed like death and pain would be victorious, Ink and Dream finally overpowered their foes and started a reign of peace. Now fast forward a few thousand years and the plot can start. Let's start with the rundown of the 2 main characters, Nightmare the 13th and Dream the 5th. Nightmare is the 13th negativity outcode in her unbroken bloodline. Dream is the 13th positivity outcode in his unbroken bloodline, and 5th to share a name with the 1st. He is prince to the kingdom of Day and first in line for the throne. He and Nightmare are distant cousins who were raised together as not quite siblings. King Nirvana, Dream's father, did the usual bad dad thing of completely ignoring the emotional needs of his adopted daughter and pretending that she didn't exist as much as possible. Nightmare's birth mother died shortly after she was born, and no one knows who her father is. Dream's parents divorced when he was about 12. For other characters that will be appearing in the first episode, we've got Cerulean, the highest-ranking army general. She is a female Swap Sands from Mermaid Tale. She is a dolphin mermaid, so she can breathe air, but she usually wears a helmet full of water because it can be painful for a mermaid's head to dry out. Cerulean is about 50 years old, and she has an 8-year-old daughter that she is guardian of. Also in Chapter 1 is King Nirvana and Queen Blick. They are not married. The title of King and Queen has nothing to do with the gender or marital status of whoever is in that role. Those are just to signify who has more power than the other. I got this concept from a dragon book I read in elementary school that I can't remember the name of. When an outcode passes away without having a child first, they respawn as a newborn baby to a woman who can't have children naturally. Blick's mother was a creation outcode who respawned this way, so she was raised outside of the palace until someone figured out she wasn't a regular person. Blick was raised inside of the palace. Blick has been around for about 100 years longer than they're supposed to live for, and still looks and acts like they're 25. They've got some major memory problems, and they're dating Nirvana, much to the irrational disapproval of Dream. He's not super happy about his dad going back into the dating pool. The last major character we've got in the first episode is Chino, who is Dream's long-term peasant girlfriend. She works at a cat cafe. There's not a whole lot to say about her yet, but I do love her anyway. None of the other characters that appear in this lineup that I'm drawing in the background appear in the first chapter, unfortunately. I wish good storytelling didn't take so long to set up because I want to tell you everything about them right now. I will leave you with this. This is Air. He is the destruction outcode and you'll meet him soon enough. This is Arson. He's 13 years old, likes to blow things up, and is a country boy. He's part goat. This is Dust. He is 19 and has major mental health issues and a violence problem. He likes cuddles. This is Hacksaw. He lives in the woods and has an axe. This is Cross. I can't say very much about him right now. And this is Drax. He's Arson's overpowered cat. Oh goodness, this thing is cringe. I really wish I could tell you more about all of them, but I have to keep some secrets. You can learn more about them over on my Patreon! Woo! Yay! Give me money! Good writing takes a long time, animation takes even longer, and I need money to make it all happen. I'm doing this entirely on my own, except for the music, and that's really hard to do, especially when you're still in school and you have to work a job and all that good stuff. I have a Ko-fi you can commission me on. I've got 2 different tiers on my Patreon, one for $1 and one for $5, and you'll get special rewards and cool stuff. If everybody that watches this video gives me just $1, I can pay for college. Also really cool, if you aren't super into the idea of paying for just extra lore and free wallpapers and a whole bunch of other cool stuff, you can buy my stickers! Yes, I made merch. Is that... Maybe it's too soon to do that, but I did it anyway. They're a little expensive, but that's because they're limited edition. There's only 15 copies, and once they sell out, they're gone forever. So if you want them, you gotta buy them now. They'll never be made ever again. Alright, ads over. I thought it might be a good idea to make some walk cycle references for everyone. This would make it a lot easier for when I animate them for real because I won't have to make up every single frame while I'm in the depths of animation hell. You can get the fiddling out in a controlled environment right now. I started with Mary. I started by doing a sketch of the general animation. Unfortunately, screen recording Ibis Paint was something that my computer didn't allow because Ibis Paint isn't a game and they don't have speed paint downloading options for animations, and I don't know how to fix it, so you'll just have to deal. I animated the sketch in 2s, but as you can see it looks very choppy and very slow and I just wasn't vibing with it. So I changed it to 1s, but now it looks too fast. I went back in and added a bunch of in-betweens to smooth it out and slow it down until it was somewhere I could be happy with it. There were some mistakes made in it, but this is just the sketch so it'll get fixed in the final. It was kind of exhausting to fix all of that, so I took a break to design Nightmare and Dream's outfits for the first episode. I do really like their outfits that I made in the lineup, and they will definitely be used, just not in the first episode. They get those ones later. Nightmare actually gets 2 outfits. She starts the episode in a very plain and reserved dress, puffy white sleeves, solid color shoes, and a plain black dress. She receives her usual outfit later in the episode. In the pilot comic, she had a golden collar on that kept her from using her magic. I was going to give her this same collar here, but it conflicted with the collar of the dress, so I put her magic restriction band around her spine instead. It would be impossible for her to pick the lock when it's back there. It'd also be a good way to represent how she's like a bird in a gilded cage. She's a prisoner, but she doesn't really appear that way to other people. Dream will stay in his prince outfit for the entire episode and most of episode 2. For his outfit, I decided to only use shades of yellow and a few pops of red and black. I didn't want this outfit to stand out more than his usual one. I also gave him a halo instead of a full crown. I made his wings a lot smaller because he isn't at full power yet. When he does reach that point, I want you to be able to recognize the power that he holds visually. His wings wouldn't actually be visible like that from this angle because they'd be folded behind his back, but that is what they would look like when they're open and spread out. And since this is just a reference, it doesn't need to make visual sense. I also gave him a big asymmetrical collar as a reference to his design from the pilot. Once his outfit was done, I decided to do a walk cycle for him too. Instead of sketching all the angles at once like I did with Mary, I decided to do just the front-facing one and drew it to completion. His front-facing walk cycle was actually more difficult to animate than Mary's was because he walks on his tippy toes. Dream actually has a foot deformity, so he can't walk flat on his feet, which made figuring out how they would look just before they hit the ground a little difficult. The sketch ended up looking a little wonky other than the asymmetrical stuff flipping, but I didn't really care about that looking good right now. I fixed the problems with it in the line art stage. In this stage, I didn't have him walk with his feet as far apart anymore, which fixed a lot of the awkwardness. I also fixed the wing positions, melted away the dividing lines between the pant legs unless they were necessary to convey the movement, which made animating a lot easier. I also added the cloak and the arm movement. The hand movements did a lot of work to get across his personality through when he walks. I'm so happy with it. There was a place where the movement catches, but I found the offending frame and deleted it in the final. With all the hard work done, I moved on to color, which I really didn't have to think about as much. This was definitely the easiest and most enjoyable part of the process. I hate doing walk cycles, it takes too much thinking. But these are necessary, both for practice and for making my show look good. And now we can move back to Mary. In the line art, I freehanded her simple outfit so I would have a reference of what her hands look like. It also means I don't have to draw her crown in this reference, which is a huge time saver. Once all the angles were done, I copy and pasted them onto every frame and put them in place. When we walk, we bob up and down. To make it faster to animate, I draw the elements that stay still and tween them first, then I animate the rest of it. I wanted to give each character a unique way of walking. For Mary, I drew her with her hands clasped in front of her chest. People that clasp their hands in front of them are normally holding something back, usually something negative. The higher you hold them, the more negativity you're holding back. Mary makes it a goal to never let anyone know that they get to her, and she's always in a bad mood, so I thought it would be perfect for her to carry herself this way. I also had her stand up very, very straight. No matter the situation, Mary is somebody who will refuse to let her dignity slip. She's very prim and proper. I also, if you've seen the concept art of her very first character page, you will have seen that she had more of like this tomboy energy to her. And though I really liked that design, I thought it would assist the story better if she had more of a feminine feel to her. So I was really happy to add that to her face shape when I made the final art. I made sure to completely close my line art this time. I learned my lesson after animating Dream. This makes it a lot easier and faster to just plop in all the colors. I also included some minimal black shading in the line art to give it a more finished look without the need for extra steps. This is something that I used to do in my older style of drawing that I kind of abandoned when I switched to digital art. I did that because in digital art you can just pick a dark color and set the overlay to be kind of transparent, so you can just use that color over and over again instead of picking different colors for shading. But I thought it's a lot faster and easier to just have the stuff that's farther into the background just be black. And I actually really like it. It gives me kind of Hollow Knight vibes, and I'm so happy with it. I did also realize that I forgot her little scar, so I had to add that in after the fact, which was a bit of a pain in the butt, so lesson learned there. I will make sure to sketch that in first. So after all of that, I was tired again and decided to work on some storyboards for the opening credits. I thought it would be cool if you saw the first outcode of the bloodline for a little bit before you saw the current one, so I drew a version for each, edited that in so they lined up with the music, and added a glitch effect as a transition between each one. I actually really loved how it looked, so yeah, definitely going with that idea. It also means a lot less animation work, which is always good. Oh, by the way, the person who created the Otherverse theme song, which I will show you eventually, was created by Hallowbrooks, who is here on YouTube. I will have their channel linked in the description. Definitely check them out. They are super duper talented. After I was sufficiently rested, I went back to animating. I fully rendered the side profile, played some Pokemon, then did the other side animation, which took a lot less time because I already had the first side done. It was just a matter of copy and pasting and then flipping everything. The last thing to do was the back view of the walk cycle, which only took about 45 minutes in comparison to the others, which took hours, because by then I had warmed up a ton, and I had, gotten a little bit better. Here's the finished walk. I'm super duper proud of it. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it is definitely good enough, and I'm not working on it anymore. I refuse. I actually really love it. I think it looks so nice. I did get most of the way through Dream's side view, but wasn't able to finish it this week. Unfortunately, that's all I can say for right now. I'd love to tell you more, but there just isn't enough time. I have so much more I want to say. There's so much more I can say that I can show you, but I have to keep things secret because, Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and buy my stickers. On my Patreon, I've actually got part of the animatic done for the first episode, so if you want to see that, give me some money! Oh, I'm such a sellout. I hope to see you all again in a super cool video next week about probably Pokemon. See ya!